Jim Harbaugh is going to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. He's agreed to coach the Chargers. There are so many angles to this. I have so many thoughts, but Deke, I want to start with you. I feel like you kind of like subconsciously you hate refs because of the Seahawks Steelers Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Subconsciously dislike Jim Harbaugh because he was like the head coach of the 49ers during your most bitter rivalry, the Niners Seahawks. But you also have the respect of like, what do you think Chargers fans should understand about Jim Harbaugh being the coach of the Chargers?
I mean, I think he's a really, really good coach. Like, he's proven that at both levels, obviously. I think, so we were talking about Matt LaFleur the other day being like the highest winning percentage of any active coach. It's now Harbaugh. He's back. He's back in the NFL. He has the highest winning percentage of any active coach, like one of the highest ever. And so I think that says a lot, obviously. The reason he kind of got out of the NFL was, I think, just mainly because he didn't get along with ownership of the 49ers at the time. It wasn't because of like super poor performance or anything like that. And so, obviously he went to the college game and won a championship. He's coming back here. He's had a couple chances to win Super Bowls here. He could be the fourth coach to do both going forward. I think obviously the whole foundation of having Justin Herbert is really, really exciting. And I think he's been known to be like really good with every quarterback basically that he's been around, in terms of like designing an offense and like massaging the scheme to like be good for them.
Andrew Luck, right? He had Colin Kaepernick. I guess I don't know about many of the Michigan quarterbacks he's worked with, but at least in the NFL. But
I mean, he was a former quarterback himself.
I think this is the best landing spot.
Like an important part, we always say the quarterback has to believe in God or believe they are a god. Harbaugh believes he's a god. And he's weird.
He might be a god, honestly, but he actually might be the one guy. Him and Dan Campbell might actually be gods. But what I like about the Chargers situation, I think it's the best landing spot. One, because you have maybe one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league, and you're just walking into that. That is like incredibly rare. I feel like that there's an open position to co-coach one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And 2, I like that Harbaugh is a culture guy, and he's stepping into an organization that is kind of devoid of culture. And like, he can just truly build it up grassroots, like from Harbaugh. Like this whole organization will now be Harbaugh. It's not like you're stepping into New England where it's like the Belichick cloud is hanging over everything. Like, there is nothing. This is a clean slate.
It's average Joes. It's literally like Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen are just sitting there like, I've found that if you don't have any goals, you can't fail to reach them. And I
gotta tell you, it feels phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like, that's the Chargers. Like, if you don't expect to win.
Yeah, I mean, he has a whole new facility that they're building for him, like for the Chargers down in Southern California. Also, like, look, I thought he should retire or stay in Michigan, but if you're going to go anywhere, Southern California, baby, with a lot of money, like, live the dream, Jim.
Okay, so there's so much to talk about with Harbaugh. I actually, we should just collect all the times everyone's talked themselves into the Chargers over the last 14 years because no one's going to do it together. I have to say, there's so much to talk about the Harbaugh. It's honestly hard to break down. And also, his brother might make the Super Bowl. Like, Jim Harbaugh just won the championship in college football.
Year of Harbaugh. Every 10 years is the year of Harbaugh. It's
yeah.
like
so, having said that, we just got to cut to the chase here. I just want to go through an incomplete list of various weird stories about Jim Harbaugh that, like, just to refresh everyone's memories. These are not incomplete. These are things I've learned. One, I want to start with.
So you're doing half-assed internet research on Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, half-assed internet research on Jim Harbaugh. Okay. Random things about Jim Harbaugh. And we're not even talking about that he was like a quarterback for the Chicago Bears and then the Colts, like a whole other life. He's obsessed with Judge Judy to the point where he has attended in-person Judge Judy. Like, there's a meme of, like, he is in the front row for an episode of Judge Judy. That's how much he loves the show.
Weird.
Bizarre. He has put Gatorade in his cereal. This is his son, Jay Harbaugh, who's an assistant with the Wolverines, and I believe the star of the Texas Connor Stallions, said, when I was a kid, we didn't have any milk for cereal. This is... I can't tell if his son. Oh yeah, Jim Harbaugh said his son's telling the story. One time we didn't have any milk in the house. My dad put Gatorade in the cereal instead of milk. It was the weirdest thing I ever saw.
It's kind of electric. What do you think is the best cereal for Gatorade?
I was gonna ask what flavor Gatorade's the best for cereal.
Well, the cereal can really vary.
Cheerios and blue Gatorade.
Do you want to go mild? Like, do you want to just go like cornflakes?
Yeah. That's so much sugar to be like Gatorade and
Lucky
cereal?
Charms or something. Yeah. You want to go something bland, I guess. Maybe
Dude,
just like mini wheats, not frosted.
I was
regular
thinking that
mini
too,
wheats.
Craig. Yes, 100%.
Oh, that's smart. Email us at Ringer
Doesn't it
Fantasy
get
Football.
soaked full of Gatorade? I don't know.
I know. Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com if you
It
have.
really makes me want some mini wheats now.
What cereals go with Gatorade? What Gatorades go with cereals? And also just
milk replacements for cereal. I'm very if you guys don't use milk but you use anything else, let us know. There's a chef named Molly Baz. I think it's actually pronounced Boz that I really like. She used to work for Bon Appetit. She salts her cereal, and I just started doing it because of her.
Dude, there's a lot of little tricks like that.
No.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It's like salt and caramel.
Salting chocolate chip cookies is the dope shit.
Same idea though.
I would not say the same thing about,
but it's
that
salt on
sounds
sweet.
absolutely
Salt, sugar,
atrocious.
fats. Salt, sugar, fats. The same idea. It's milk is the fat. The cereal
Soy
sugar.
milk
You
is
need a
good
little
though,
salt.
Craig, if you're looking for a replacement.
No, I'm a fan of cow's milk, but I want non-milk options that are fun.
Shock is that Jim Harbaugh eats cereal, because cereal, like just pure sugar for breakfast, is kind of like insane, honestly, if you think about it. It's a very distinctly American weird thing. Anyway, other Jim Harbaugh stories. There was an incredible story, I think it was from Nick Baumgartner at The Athletic, that Jim Harbaugh, he got married recently, like in the last 5 or 6 years, and he did a bachelor party.
Flex.
And then Jim Harbaugh's bachelor party, they went to play laser tag. And Jim Harbaugh, like solo, like what is it, like Warzone style, like just 1v, like, no teams, like just anyone, whoever gets the most points wins. Jim Harbaugh won. And then the scoreboard comes up and you can see who played, like, how'd you get your points? Jim Harbaugh did not shoot any of the men on his bachelor party. There was a 10-year-old kid who got put in the arena with them.
No
Jim Harbaugh
way.
got all of his points by hunting down the 10-year-old kid solely. And he just spent all his, because he wanted to win. And all he did was stalk, like Alien Predator stalked the 10-year-old.
Gotta be ruthless. Gotta be ruthless out here.
Did not fight. I think that's
zero
a real window.
scruples. All you do is win.
It's a real window into his mind.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I don't want to fight my friends. It's like, here are the rules. And if I just hunt this kid, I will win.
Wow, what a maniac.
He's a maniac.
He actually is a maniac.
If you don't believe in God or have some type of, or like a religious thing, and you're going to be an NFL quarterback and you're trying to, like, I'm going to be the first pick of the draft, be a Hall of Famer. Like, you have to have otherworldly self-confidence. Like, you know what I mean? So there you go. Anyway, Jim Harbaugh. Can't wait to have him back in our lives.
When he was with the 49ers back in the day, he always wore the exact same outfit every single day. And he got a endorsement or something from, I think it was like Dockers or something for his slacks.
Khakis.
It's just like he wore the exact same khakis and shirt every single day.
Obama
and
did
he's
the
got
same
like this
thing.
little like thing on his neck, like his pen.
Obama, after the tan suit debacle, when Obama wore a tan suit, he did the Harbaugh and he just stopped trying wearing the same suit every day, so you don't have to think about it. But I get, though, you have to make a lot of decisions. All right. So the Harbaugh, honestly, this is just, we win this. Like, just Harbaugh content being again, like, Harbaugh, Herbert versus Andy Reid, Mahomes, incredible. So the other coaching stuff that just happened, we're recording this at 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Raheem Morris, the defensive coordinator for the LA Rams, was just hired to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Big news for a lot of reasons. Obviously, primarily lack of diversity. Obviously, the head coaching ranks in the NFL do not represent the diversity of the amount of black players that are in the player pool. It's a huge issue. But also just Raheem Morris had, about as much of a public endorsement. Like Les Snead, the Rams GM, had like a monologue, a 3-minute monologue in his season closing press conference that Raheem Morris deserves a head coaching look. But Craig, you spent some time with Raheem Morris just through producing the Flying Coach podcast with Schrager and McVay. So I'm curious, because everything they say about Raheem Morris is that he's like this magnet, like everyone loves playing for him. He's like this, in addition to having all this knowledge, like he's just the epitome of a player's coach.
Yes, he was on the episode with, so it was Mike Tomlin and Raheem Morris. They're friends because they coached together at Tampa Bay a long time ago, back in like the late 2000s, in the secondary, I believe. But the Raheem Morris was one of the more charismatic coaches that had come on the show that I had met, and everybody adores him. Mike Tomlin and Sean McVay, who are also two of the most like charismatic, like culture guys who get it. And they both spoke so highly of Raheem Morris. He's hilarious. He had them like busting up the entire episode. One of those people that's just like very magnetic and charismatic. So I'm happy for him. He was super nice to work with.
Raheem Morris was like very famously the head coach of the Buccaneers really young. And we don't think of it this way, but like, we always talk about how everyone wants the new thing. And there's a weird thing that coaches who get hired don't get hired again. And Raheem Morris was the coach of the Bucs. I think he was the youngest. I could be wrong. I think he was the youngest or second youngest coach ever before McVay was.
He was 32, I think.
He's 47 now.
Yeah, it was 15 years ago. Yeah.
15 years ago as head coach, and he's not 50 years old. That's crazy. So as much as it's like kind of insane that Sean McVay was running a team at 30, Raheem Morris was running a team at 32 and failed. And I do think there's something about the ego death of that, of going through being destroyed, like feeling like a failure, and like really realistically looking at it, be like, I might never get a shot at this again. But Craig, you talk about how Greg Popovich with the Spurs, they want people who are like over themselves. And that, like, I think that there is something about like being fired as a head coach at 33 years old. It's kind of
humility that comes with it.
It's like a professional death experience, basically, or like a near death experience for your career. And I think that I think that there's something to be said about having 15 years as a really successful coach after that. That I don't know. It's funny that we only pick people who've never done the job before, as if you can't like do a bad job, have a decade and a half go by and be like, I know exactly how I do it now.
Yeah, it's like getting hired and fired as a young NFL coach is like a maturity accelerator program. Like you just immediately it's like having a kid when you're young. Like it's just like you just immediately become an adult now. So I think it's a great fit. I'm happy for him.